Brooke.
Yeah.
Is that a good question?
All right, fantastic. All right, so let's go ahead and bring the Committee on Ways and Means to order. Let the record reflect a starting time of 3:30, that all committee members are present. With that being said, that takes us to the meeting minutes for March 4th, 2025. Vice Chair Gerson.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
There's a motion on the floor regarding the minutes for March 4th. Any discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We don't have anybody physically from the public. Is there anybody online? There is not. All right, so that takes us to discussion action item number 5. Letter B, this is the resolution of grant acceptance for cities for financial empowerment fund grant for legacy planning. In your packets, folks, you do have a memo from the internal auditor. You also have the grant information form that's submitted to city council. And there's also a resolution. Mark, I'm sorry. Raleigh, my understanding is you are here to discuss in lieu of Amber. Go ahead.
I am, and I'm here in Amber's place because today and tomorrow they're actually at a conference for the kickoff for said grant.
Oh, okay.
And so,
where's that at?
New York. And so you'll see in the grant information form, but in summary, Cities for Financial Empowerment, which is a Bloomberg supported program, and we've been a recipient of the Financial Empowerment Center specific funding from them. And so as you'll see in Amber's memo and in the grant form, this was a surprise, but a positive surprise that they solicited, currently in the Financial Empowerment Center model, there's 4 pillars, banking, debt reduction, and so forth. Legacy planning is a new 5th pillar that CFE through Bloomberg has kicked off. And so they basically went to all of their FEC cities throughout the country and are giving them $50,000 to incorporate this into their Financial Empowerment Center sessions. And so it is a 2-year grant. There's benchmarks. And when we get those funds, they are unrestricted. We will inevitably have to submit a program budget. We don't have to do that yet. So for today's sake, we were surprised to have gotten this, but we're excited to get it. And so we're seeking support to that.
All right, Councilman Spence.
When I see the term legacy planning, are we talking like estate planning?
Yes, retirement.
Right. That was my only question on the verbiage. Love surprise grants.
All right, absolutely. Absolutely. Unsolicited, no match, no guess.
If anyone else wants to city
Yeah, we'll get
council.
more of these, right?
Absolutely. Charles, do you have anything to add?
No, sir, I do not.
Well, man. We need a motion.
All right, make a motion.
All right, there's a motion on the floor. This pertains to the resolution of grant acceptance for the FEF grant for legacy planning. Further discussion, seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Raleigh, we appreciate you being here, my man.
Would it help to have either myself, Amber will be back, either?
I don't think you need to be. I read through it. I understand pretty well. I think we, if it's not on the consent, it's moved.
Okay. No problem.
All right. If you want to come, though,
I'll be discussing.
Oh, I won't be here.
Yeah.
Would you like? I'm sorry. Would you like? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's okay. No, no, it's
So
fine.
typically these are on the
It's
consent.
pretty
I don't
straightforward.
see anybody having a problem
There's
with
no match.
unsolicited funds coming to the city of Lansing. So for this purpose, it should be fine.
Sure.
Sorry.
Sure, whatever you want.
Yeah.
My mind is still outside the place, but all right, let's go to Mark. So now you are up for the resolution to support the city of Lansing community funded project requests to Senator Gary Peters. Do you want to talk about, man, when I went through this, I thought, wow, there's a lot of requests.
Yeah.
So maybe give us a high level overview of like the process,
Sure.
right? And then maybe talk about some of these requests. Go ahead.
Do you want to talk about the substitute first or not? Do you want to do that later?
Well, so here's the thing. It's not that big of a deal.
It's
right?
not,
Because it's not like we moved something out of committee and now we're looking for a substituted option
Yeah.
out there. So let's just talk about what's in front
Fair
of us. Just so you guys know. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, the packet was originally published with a different resolution. This is a substitute. Tell them why there was a substitute.
The short version is we have not heard from any of our other congressionals on whether or not they're going to have a similar program. So we just made this sort of generic to all of them. So instead of appealing to each one individually when they open their programs, this is going to go to all 3 of them if and when the other 2 do. It's that simple.
So I want to make sure you explain that. Okay, thank you. Okay, now if you want to let's go.
Yeah, so I have explained this to other folks in this way, which is my job over the last couple of weeks has been to gather up as many keys as I could so that when this program opens and I get presented with a bunch of locks, I can see which key fits into what lock.
Right.
And that is really sort of where this group of projects comes from. What happens is we get a document from the senator's office that says, here are the list of appropriations subcommittees and the accounts therein and the type of projects that these accounts will support. And then what we have to do is identify needs within the city that align with those accounts and with those projects types inside of those accounts.
Okay.
And this list reflects our needs related to those accounts.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Is it $30 million in total? Is that what the total is?
I didn't add it, but that feels right.
So I'm looking through this. So we're requesting funds from how many accounts? Is it 1, 2, 3,
4 or 5 different ones if I had
4 or 5? You said roughly 30 million.
And realistically, if we get 2 of these, it's a good,
No,
it's a
absolutely.
good year, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Just so that Mr. Gardner can give a high level.
we're casting. a wide net.
Okay, and I'm sorry, maybe I missed it. So you guys, how do you come up with the numbers? How do you come up with?
2 ways. One, it's based on our need. So if you look at, say, I'm picking one, the flood mitigation pumps at Pennsylvania, that's about what they would cost. So in this case, they would cost about that, $500,000 or $600,000. And that happens to be what the accounts in this document say around let's say kind of the maximum and minimum of what has been granted previously, and then say an average. So
Okay.
you don't go in and ask for $5 million out of an account that averages a grant of 500,000.
Right.
So sometimes you have to adjust those numbers based on what they'll give and what we may have to spend on them from the city. So, we have some amount of money to spend at the wastewater treatment plant, but we could spend any amount of money that anybody wants to give us out there to modernize it and make it more efficient. So, that's
And then when you're requesting funds from the same account, is there any prioritization? Did we say, like, if you can only fund one of these, we would prefer?
Yeah, we'll do that later. The senator will get back to us and say, okay, here's what we've gotten from everybody. What are your priorities? And we'll go from there with them at that time.
Not as chair of this committee, but just as a respected council member, as an example, I'm going to say that I think the $2 million for further development in Pleasant Grove homes is a lot more important than a splash pad.
That's actually
You know what I
number
mean?
one on the mayor's list
Okay,
too.
okay, perfect. All right. Do we have any questions?
I do.
Comments?
We count 30 million out of 5 different accounts.
The one actually I'm most excited about is the $2 million for the LEAD program. And part of that is because I don't see a lot of other people asking for money out of that account. 1 million, sorry. What did I say, 2? 1 million.
Yeah, it's one.
I think that has a very good chance of being funded. I think that program was successful, and that's an account. There's a lot of ones out of this THUD account because it's a development account. A lot of people apply out of that one, and I would guess that not too many are applying out of that small business one. So
Right. Okay. All right, fantastic. Any questions? No?
Make a motion.
All right, there is a motion of support for the resolution to support City of Lansing Community Funding Project request to Senator Gary Peters. Yeah, just real quick, I'll just say, I looked through this, I thought a lot of these programs would have a ton of value, right? Or a lot of these dollars.
Yeah.
And some of these would be new programs, some of them would help to essentially enhance things that we're already doing,
Right.
but a lot of really good stuff here. So I was curious as to how you guys identified these, put them together. I appreciate the explanation of the process and also how you came to these numbers. So I appreciate that.
Sure.
With all that being said, Charles, any questions?
I was just wondering, I don't know if I heard a timeline when we would expect to hear on this. Will we link it into the budget for next year?
That's another one of the challenging things in terms of figuring out what programs to choose, because that number could range from 1 to 2 to 2.5 years, depending on the speed of the federal budget. We've gotten money in federal budgets that we still haven't seen from previous budgets because of how long they took, and then how long it's taken the bureaucracy to process the appropriations and we've all dealt with enough grants at this point to understand the contracting length and things like that. So it's, yeah, that's part of the calculus on what we choose to apply for based on kind of need, so.
Great question. All right, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Mark, we appreciate you, man.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then lastly, we do have a sole source purchase, Public Service Department request for System Specialties is the vendor for road torque slide gate actuators. And we do have a note from our internal auditor. Did you want to just cover that real quick like you did last time?
Well, I'll have to say, since our last meeting, I've had the honor of touring our facility.
Yep.
And
I wish I could have came out with you. I appreciated the invite.
it's very interesting out there.
What time do you go?
Right.
Yeah. It was, I was thinking, wow, we had third hour at that time. Yeah.
It was
Okay.
before the public service committee meeting.
Right.
So I went to that afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah, these facilities are, I wouldn't say in dire need, but anything's needed upgraded when it's getting to the age it's needed. And they have a lot of these actuators, gates out there, channels. So, I say this fits our sole source requirements.
Perfect. Yeah, and I appreciate these memos. They really help out. Do you have any questions?
No, I think the public service director, or I think it was the director, but the gentleman from the public service department at the last meeting explained it pretty well. It's like the mid-range actuators.
Yeah.
Not the most expensive, not the cheapest.
Right.
So,
Perfect. So we just need if you're comfortable with a motion that's to
Place on
place on
file.
file. Yeah.
right, make a motion, place on
All
file.
right, there is a motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Ladies and gentlemen, we are